Alright, so the BeamNG 0.37 update just came out, and I think that they may have messed with some stuff. So if you were, so this is the first announcement part that they were talking about. So the main first point is they're changing just the current the user folder. It's the old location was here. And now they're in app data, they're adding a new BeamNG folder, but they're also keeping the old folder. So let me just show that real quick. So here's your app data local. This is the old one, and this is the new one. So you'll notice BeamNG Drive is the old one that has your 0.36 stuff. It'll have your levels. And then in the new BeamNG folder, now there's BeamNG.drive current. I had to create this levels folder. I gotta test my map here, but that's where all of your stuff now is gonna be sitting in your app data. So when you're working on a map, you're not gonna use this anymore. That's just kind of an archive location. So let me see what else. So the second point is down at the very bottom, new and improved tools. So they took all of their, oh wait, that's the modular. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm really looking at the assets folder. So all of the assets are being migrated into one single assets folder. So let me go to this forum thread here. So on here, they're saying that half of this is getting done now, and then the other half is going to happen in 0.38. So what you're going to notice is that all of your DAE assets that were being pulled from, say, West Coast are probably going to be now sitting in your centralized assets folder. I'm going to have to check that and see all that's going to be impacted, because I have quite a few props on my map, and I feel like I'm going to have to just change all of that. So let's see. So this line right here, most of the textures and soon all static meshes have been moved to a single location. So that means that this there's new added link files in this West Coast directory. You can see all these little link files. That appears to be just your color, normal maps, all that stuff as of right now. So I don't know how this is going to impact like your DAE files. So if you're, say, using, you're in West Coast art, shapes, objects, or buildings or whatever. So like this air compressor, let's say that was on your map, right? I don't know how that's going to be impacted. I have some of these on my map, so I'm going to dive into my map that I started on 0.36. We're going to see what's impacted. Not sure if these JSONs are going to be impacted or what. I was just trying to digest what they are actually talking about here and what they've changed. Alright, so let's try the map, and now I'm basically running it from the new current levels folder. I just want to dive in and see what's broken, because this is the kind of stuff that really deters people from making maps. Like me, even myself, I'm probably going to put this on the back burner because there's still more stuff changing, and I'm not going to do this again, and I know sure as hell no one's going to be able to figure out how to do this. So I really don't get the whole, like, the map making process in this game is pretty cumbersome and pretty deterring. Like, I don't even know if this shit's going to work. Well, maybe not all messed up. Let's see. So my little asphalt is broken. Jeez, let's see. This is just a little... Dang, I gotta go through that. That's just the track. I could probably fix that, but... Not sure what else they broke. Not seeing no mesh. That's a good start. Man. Let's see what else. See my little... That looks okay. I don't really know what they broke. Let me check the log here. Am I seeing anything? I could fix that. That's Hiroshi raceway textures. Well, it doesn't really give me, I'm not really able to give much information if it's not broken. So let me just see if these are passing West Coast. So that's still going to West Coast. Well, I guess time will tell if and what we have to do to fix issues as they arise. Right now, not really seeing any problems. So let's dissect why this isn't working. So right now I just have in my object, I just have a track. I just called it track main and stated in my JSON somewhere, and I was just manually pathing it here. So what happens if I open that directory? This stuff still exists. T asphalt track. B color. Okay, so they probably moved all that. So what if I do /levels? Wait, was it? What was the actual? Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about was the Steam apps. Oh wait, Steam apps common, BeamNG Drive, content. So in content, you have now this new assets folder, which remember I was talking about those link files earlier. So now I think we have new materials buried somewhere in here, which are going to, and they're all zipped. You notice they're all zipped. So what I need to figure out is I need to figure out how do I get, can I path to that color map that's buried in this assets folder. So okay, so that little assets folder is actually searchable. So if I hit my little folder again into my file dialog, instead of levels, if I just did assets, that directory, that zip directory is searchable. So if I went to say materials, and this might actually make it a little bit easier in the end, I guess. And that's pretty, when they were talking about shrinking the file size, this is kind of what they're achieving is everything, all the materials, instead of being like a DDS, it's now in a zipped, compressed folder, so it would make it smaller. But so if I needed my like asphalt, let me see if I can find the asphalt. And okay, so asphalt would be in tileable, of course. And then, you know, you got your concretes, you got your asphalts, I think, road. So if I go to road, okay, so I got some asphalt. Let me just try that one. Asphalt A. I don't even know if these will work. Let's just open that. What does that look like? Actually, it doesn't look that bad. So now if I save that material, oh, da, da, da. Go back to my, open it in shape editor. How do I get to my, which should show up in my material editor, but now it doesn't. Interesting. Well, let me, I guess, restart the game because it's bugging out. Alright, after restarting correctly, now this is working. This is what it's supposed to do. Glitchy. So I just want to do my pit road. So track main, I'm just going to copy this directory, Control C, my assets. I'm going to go to pit road. Control V, enter. Now I can go to my file dialog, click that. This is only for custom textures, like custom JSON entries. This won't work for things that are already, that you're like telling it like a specific material name. Like see, this material name is just called pit road. That material name is just called track main, but I'm specifying where to look for the color manually. That's opposed to like if you had a material named asphalt underscore 01 underscore A, that would be looking at a specific texture. Anyway, so I'm just going to basically try and get my pit road working and then just show those two things and that's it. So I'm just going to go to like a different one. Just open, see, I think my normal map needs to be changed since the Let's see. Is that not a normal? Road asphalt. Normal. I guess I'll just use that. Whatever. Let's see. Oh, I don't think it likes that. It's normal for my pit road. Do that again here. Need another normal map. I just need a normal and then not sure why it looks weird. Oh, maybe it looks good. Maybe it's just because it's selected. Yeah, sometimes if it's selected, let me move this. It's too many windows. If I click that, yeah, it looks good. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. All right, let me save that material. So you can just see it's going to assets for a normal and a color. That's just a custom object. So save all. Let me see if this thing still, that still works. Oh, on my track. Pit road. Yeah, see, look. There's some kind of a bug where when you go to save materials, if you go to your shape editor and it's not correctly going to the material, like that's a bug. You just got to restart the game. Like it should do this. See how it's LOD vertical, slabs large. It's supposed to go through all those materials when you're on an object and you have your material list in the shape editor, but you're clicking and nothing's changing. You just got to restart. Control save, I don't think changes that. No, you just got to restart the game. I don't know. It's just a bug in the game. So I think that material issues are pretty much wrapped my head around. I don't think I need to. So the only two things are the assets are going to house your materials, I guess, from now on. And then at some point, we're going to be experiencing probably these DAE files moving over to your to this assets folder, which is in your main game directory. So watch out for that, I guess, in 0.38. If you're working on a map, probably not the best time to be working on a map. Alright, let's see what the other maps that I made look like. See if I have to fix anything. I did have to unsubscribe and resubscribe to this one. It wasn't showing up, but the other one was, so let's see. So there's that, and you can see in your new BeamNG folder, there's BeamNG Drive with current mods, repo, and that's where they're sitting after being subscribed. Alright, I'm in. Let's see what is broken. Nothing. That's interesting. So nothing's broken yet on this map. So I guess if you have maps, maybe cross your fingers that everything is okay. How cool would that be? Alright, let me check my other map. I'm just checking both because they were both made on entirely different. I'm just checking materials. I'm looking for no mesh. That's all I'm doing. Looking for missing materials, and I'm looking for that purple no mesh icon anywhere. Like, I'm not going to show you, but this looks good. Alright, next. Alright, map 2. Everything. So, not really seeing any materials broken. I'm not seeing any no mesh so far. Materials look good. Everything seems okay, I guess. So, I don't know. Maybe I guess it didn't actually break anything yet. So I guess just keep an eye out for stuff. Main thing too, decal roads. You don't want to see if you see textures missing. Weird stuff. Looks pretty good. Crows. I guess it's good. So that's it. I guess just those two pieces. They changed the main game, the app data directory, and then the assets, materials folders, and that link stuff, which I don't know. You have to wrap your head around that, but for now, I guess it's okay. It doesn't really seem like you have to go back and really rework anything. So I guess we're going to call it done, boys. So just this and this. That's really all they're talking about so far in that 0.37 update. Nothing too crazy until you run into something. And then for 0.38, they've already started, but I don't think it's affecting it yet, but the meshes folder already has some stuff kind of going in there, so I don't know if that's going to be expanded on, but definitely some stuff. I think that's for the procedural stuff, but in addition to that, the art shapes is still there. Levels is still there. It's basically the same with the addition of the assets, which I guess art shapes might be staying. I guess that's going to stay. I don't think they're going to change that. I have a lot of art shapes props, and it's good to know that they're not going to change. But you might be seeing some other props being migrated from, say, West Coast over to assets down the road here in 0.38. But for now, you can sleep soundly, maybe.